Dit is Ahoy-Rtv. U kijkt naar Ahoy-Rtv, Publieke Omroep Amsterdam. Ik ben Bert Kleine en we komen vanaf het Marineterrein met dit programma Ahoy-Rtv-Informatief Kunst in de Heg van 5 tot en met 30 april. Ik ga praten met iemand, ze komt uit Letland. I don't know if she understands Dutch.
I understand Dutch.
Do you speak it?
Beetje.
Een klein beetje. Nou, well, let's do it in English then.
Preferably.
Okay, we are in the Hague at the Marineterrein and you are, well,
I am
an
the
artist.
Yes.
What is what you're going to show this month, April, to the people?
Yes, so this month of April I've been invited to make work for the Hague. My work kind of is oriented around how we use language to classify the world, how we organize the world through language, and I'm very interested in the way we relate to our physical environment through language. So for the Hague, for this month, I created a work that deals with kind of objects that are left by, well, the inhabitants of Amsterdam around the Hague. Objects that are maybe loose from their other parts. And for a month I kind of came to The Hague for walks and I collected a lot of different objects to take home with me. And since I'm very interested in language, I was trying to search for other ways that we can relate to these objects, not as trash, but perhaps things that hold history, that hold memories, that hold stories. And this work kind of became a poetic taxonomy of these objects. I went into researching the history of these objects, how they were possibly made, and I kind of tried to approach, almost like having a conversation with these objects around the possible stories that they can tell us. Yeah.
And how long have you been an artist now?
I've been an artist.
Did you go to art school,
I
for
did
instance?
go to art school, yes.
Here or in Letland?
Nee, I studied at KBK in Den Haag. And
okay.
later on I went to do my master's at UvA, University of Amsterdam, where I did artistic research.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it is your job, what you're doing
Yes.
at this moment?
Yes, it is my job, and I have another job, which is I actually teach at Artes, which is an art school in Arnhem. So I'm also busy with, a teaching job.
Okay. And this is your first open-air exhibition?
Yes, this is my first open-air exhibition. It's a completely other story.
Have you been asked, or?
Yes, I was
by
asked
Naomi?
by Naomi. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
And what do you expect? What would people think about this project?
I would like people to take their time to spend some time in The Hague to really interact with the work, to touch it, to feel it, to read what it says, and maybe, hopefully, it also changes a little bit their perception of their surroundings and things that are very often overlooked.
Okay, and now it's the opening.
Yes.
Are you going to speech or something?
Probably yes. I'm gonna say a few words. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we will show you then.
Oh, okay.
And I wish you good luck this month of April. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much.
U kijkt naar Ahoy-Rtv vanaf het Marineterrein bij de Heg. Met een kort item over wat er te zien is in de Heg. Kunst in de maand april tot de 30ste. Tot 30 april dus.
Ja, beetje gênant dus. Ja, maar we laten op het uur hoor. Ja, oké. Ik wil wel een biertje. Ja, lekker. En echt wel? Ik dacht dat je zo professioneel... Ja, lekker. Nee, ik zag er allemaal bruine soorten vanaf.
Hopelijk hebben de meesten van jullie alvast iets te drinken en anders mag je zo meteen gewoon lekker pakken wat je wil, zolang de voorraad strekt. Ik ben Naomi en ik heb kleine 2 jaar geleden hier een heg geplaatst. Omdat het Marineterrein een oproep had dat ze parkeerplekken wilden vergroenen. En ik woon hier zelf in de buurt en toen dacht ik heb helemaal geen groene vingers, maar ik ben zelf wel ook beeldend kunstenaar. En toen dacht ik, wat kan ik dan doen op zo'n plek? Ik dacht ik ga een heg planten als een soort van omheining, zoals je ziet. Ik kom namelijk zelf uit een dorp naast Eindhoven en daar zat ik vroeger altijd heel veel in heggen te verstoppen. Portemonneetje trekken, naar de enge buurman gluren, wegrennen. Dus toen dacht ik, als ik nou die parkeerplek omhein met een heg, dan heb je eigenlijk een soort ruimte die ontstaat waarin allemaal dingen kunnen gebeuren. Dus in de zomermaanden organiseer ik hier wekelijks verrassingsoptredens. Dan zit er een muzikant of performer in de heg en het publiek eromheen. En weet je niet wie of wat er die ochtend ten tonele verschijnt. En van januari tot en met juni vraag ik beeldende kunstenaars om een werk te maken voor in de heg. Wat dan een maand lang doorlopend bezocht kan worden. En dit is het tweede jaar op rij en tot nu toe gaat het aardig goed. Tot nu toe zijn alle werken ook heel gebleven. Dus dat is ook heel fijn. Dus het is ook een soort experiment in de publieke ruimte van hoe kun je daar ook soms meer als beginnend kunstenaar een werk plaatsen en kijken hoe dat in zijn werk gaat. So this whole part was in Dutch.
Nice, I understood it. Yay!
Maybe I can switch now to English, right?
Yes.
Because then we can
That's
also
nice.
introduce your work.
We can keep on doubling it if it's necessary.
I would like to hand it over to you. Maybe you want to explain something about what you made for the hand.
Well, so nice that you're all here. It's very, very gezellig. I am Annija, for those who do not know me, but I think everybody here knows me, almost. I am the artist for the April in the Heg. Thank you so much, Amy, for inviting me to make work. This was also my very first time making something for outdoors, and it was definitely a challenge to sort of take in consideration the endurance of the work and the material. You really had to collaborate with the environment, have environment in mind in order to make something for the Heg. So that was a really nice and challenging experience. For the Heg this year, this month, I made a work that deals with how we use language to classify and organize the world. Sounds very large, but I'm very interested in how language shapes our perception of our physical surroundings. And so basically for a full month, I came here and took walks around the Heg, and I looked for objects that are left by or forgotten by people, or maybe they were even carried here by the wind. And I sort of collected them and I took them home with me. And my research was at that point going into the direction of looking at language as kind of a tool that has separated us from our environment and the way we can relate to it. Because actually before we had phonetic language, which is the alphabet with which we write, language was much more entangled with the physical environment and with nature. And we actually used language as like sort of language was the world in our mouth, so to say. Because we had to use it in order to sensorially explain what was going on around us. But the moment phonetic alphabet was invented, it started to become more of a tool of classification. And for the Heg, I made work that basically tries to reintroduce language as something that we can play with, as something that can stretch boundaries of how we understand our physical environment. And it becomes kind of a poetic taxonomy of the objects that I have found around the Heg. So it's kind of an invitation for you to relate to your surroundings perhaps differently, and how language can be something that reconciles our relationship with the environment. So that was long, but
and besides from that, you can have a drink and of course admire the beautiful work that you made. We also thought of something together, like what else can we do during this beautiful sunny day? So we came up with a small exercise. You can see, apart from the rocks that hold the papers on a table, you see little notes in which we describe some exercises, both in Dutch and in English. And each paper is a set of 3 steps. So first you read step 1, which is always to look for a certain object in these surroundings. and then to take the object back to the table. Step 2 is mostly also based on some questions I think that you came up with.
And you came up with their personal questions that you can ask yourself around this object so that you can at least start thinking in a different direction than what you would see just on like face value. And then the third question is an invitation to bring your object to the table and write its new definition or description. And you can use the flowmasters on the table, and you can just feel free to write directly on the tablecloth
To make a collective artwork.
Yes.
And let's cheers.
Yes.
To your work. Go.
En tot zover deze Ahoy-Rtv vanaf het Marineterrein in, of bij de heg. Tot 30 april kunt u de kunstenares die u in dit programma zag, haar werk bewonderen in de heg zelf. Dus stap er gewoon eens binnen. Het is iedere dag geopend, gratis en voor niets. Dus heel veel plezier als u er naartoe gaat. Ik ben Bert Kleine, Ahoy-Rtv Publieke Omroep Amsterdam. Tot de volgende aflevering van dit programma op deze zender.
How do I pronounce your full name?
Oh my god. So Annija
Annija
Muizule. If you don't get it right, it's okay.
Annija
Muizule.
Muizule.
Yeah.
Okay.